So I'm just going to add a ground plane here. Yep. Right there. And I'm just going to take our character, sit him on the ground. And I'm just going to roll those feet up just because it is annoying me if they're broken like that. So one thing's for sure, if I'm sitting him on the ground, one thing I would do is make sure the hips are actually rotated in slightly like that, just to give a little bit more of a working spine in there. But I'm not going to worry too much about the spine. The problem that we're going to run into right now is I need to rotate this character from the ground. But if I take the cog control, for example, and rotate it, he's actually rotating slightly higher than the ground. His pivot point, well, actually, in this case, he's right on the ground. So this rig is actually well built for that. But you might have a rig where it's actually like higher or lower than that. How do you fix that? So let's kind of give an example here where maybe the character isn't on the ground. So this is going to be the same principle here, but this is going to show a little bit better with this rig. So let's say I have a box here and this character is like doing a workout or something. And I'm going to reset those hips. And he's like leaning against this box here like that. And I need to pivot him from that point. He's like doing this stretch on that box. Well, if I do this, that's not going to work. That's going to be kind of a pain to deal with any rotations like that. So if you've got a situation like this, whether they're sitting flat on the ground, whether they're pushing off of something, we can, for most rigs, almost all rigs should be able to do this. You can adjust the pivot point of your main control. Usually what it's called is the cog, center of gravity control. This one right here. So on this rig, what I would do is I would turn on the gimbal cog. It's essentially there's going to be a secondary offset control. Some rigs have this visible by default. Some rigs you have to turn this on, but just look for that secondary ring for the cog. And with this, what I can do is just offset that. And you'll notice that the original cog, the original center of gravity control, stays in place. So with this, I can actually just readjust where my pivot point is and then move the character back into place. So here, if I was to move this like right around there, now you can see that pivot point is in the middle of his back, right here. That's pretty good. But I want it to be at the actual back of his back. So I'm going to take that offset again, move that forward. Let's see, right about there. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I can put that here now. And as he rotates, done. I now have this character doing this weird exercise thing or like trying to stretch out his back. And I have just one rotation, done. I don't have to try and rotate, translate, any of that kind of stuff. So you would do the same thing, but in your case, you would move it down to his butt so that it's flat on the ground. And as you rotate him, he's going to rotate from the ground. So that would be the basics of it. Now, the other thing that you can do is you animate this as well, so that as the character is shifting their weight, you can switch the pivot point from essentially one cheek to the other. And that'll allow you to get a little bit more of a extra level in there if you wanted to. Not necessary, but you could do that as well. So yeah, I hope that helps. It's really just finding the control on your rig that'll allow you to offset that adjustment there.